Once upon a time, nestled deep in the emerald heart of the Whispering Woods, there sat a tiny cottage made of cedar wood and captured moonlight. This is the story of one very special spring morning as the forest began to wake from its long winter sleep. Before the sun even touches the sky, the forest house is draped in a delicate frost. If you look closely at the windows, you'll see fern ice etched on the glass. But listen, underneath the eaves, a single drop of water hangs heavy. It falls, tink, hitting a mossy stone like a crystal bell. That is the very first note of the morning's symphony. Soon, the sun peeks over the branches of the great oak, sending a long finger of golden light through the kitchen window. It lands right on the snout of Barnaby, the hearth cat. He doesn't wake up quite yet. He just stretches his paws until they look like tiny toasted marshmallows and lets out a long, silent, vibrating yawn. Inside the house, the wood witch begins to stir. She isn't the scary kind of witch. She's the kind who wears warm wool socks and smells like dried rosemary. She places her copper kettle on the stove, and as the water begins to hum, the steam rises up to meet the sunlight, creating a miniature rainbow right over the breakfast table. Then, with a rhythmic crick-thump, she pushes the heavy wooden shutters wide open. The air that rushes in isn't the biting cold of winter anymore. No, this is new air. It smells of damp earth, crushed pine needles, and the faint, sweet promise of wildflowers hiding in the grass. Down in the garden beds, the soil begins to heave and move. A single snowdrop, white as a shiny pearl, pushes its head through the dirt. It is joined by a daring crocus wearing a coat of royal purple. These are the forest scouts, telling everyone that the long sleep is finally over. Behind the house, the frozen stream finally snaps its icy chains. The water rushes over the pebbles with a frantic, happy energy. It carries away the last dead leaves of autumn and polishes the river stones until they glow like jewels hidden under water. Back in the parlor, the light has grown thick and honey-colored. If you look into the sunbeams, you'll see millions of tiny dust motes dancing. To us, it's just dust, but to the forest house, it's a silent ballroom dance, celebrating the way the shadows have finally retreated into the corners. Outside, the wood witch hangs a fresh linen sheet on the line between two birch trees. The wind catches it, snap, and for a moment it looks like a friendly white ghost dancing in the clearing, smelling of lavender soap and the great wide outdoors. By mid-morning, the forest house is fully awake. The bees are starting to drone, the squirrels are spiraling up the tree bark, and the cottage sits with its door wide open. It doesn't need to hide from the cold anymore. It is part of the woods again, breathing in, breathing out, and basking in the emerald light. You see, the first day of spring is a wonderful thing, but the first morning of spring in a forest is a secret whispered between the trees and the soul. As the morning mist dissolves into the bright warmth of noon, the forest house feels heavy with a happy kind of peace. The tea has been sipped, the birds have been fed, and the world is no longer waiting for the spring. It is finally here. The tall pines overhead lean in close, whispering a soft, "Well done" to the little flowers, while the house settles into the moss with a contented sigh. Now, just like that little snowdrop tucking its head back toward the cool soil, and just like Barnaby the cat curling into a soft round ball in the sun, it is time for us to rest. The forest is safe, the fire in the hearth is just a soft glow of embers, and the stars are already beginning to dream of their turn to shine. Close your eyes now. Breathe in that scent of new pine needles and listen to the quiet hum of the woods. The story is finished, the morning is complete, and the forest is watching over you while you sleep. Sleep tight, little sprout. Good night.